So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what it's like to own a Denon DJ Prime 4. What does it feel like to own the very best all-in-one DJ system in the world? Well, stay tuned for the rest of the video if you'd like to find out. Yo guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. My name is DJ Kiz Walsh and well, I've not uploaded the video for 3 weeks. This is the longest I've not uploaded the video in ages. Okay, now I've been super busy. That's one of the reasons why, but also I just needed a little break. You know, I made a lot of videos in a very short amount of time. I was actually uploading 3 videos a week at one point, as well as having my normal job, as well as having a family to go and see, as well as having a girlfriend, as well as having other hobbies that I like to do. So it got pretty intense. I needed to take a few weeks off. So yeah, I did. I took a 3-week break. I've been doing tons of stuff, been going fishing a lot. You might laugh and think that's an old man thing to do. Well, it kind of is, but at the same time, I've had a lot of fun going fishing, so why does it matter? Get off my back, it's alright, mate. I've been playing it on the Denon DJ Prime 4, obviously, you know, my brand new DJ system. Been spending a ton of time mixing on that. I've been camping with my family and my girlfriend, which was sick, had loads of fun. Our tent got flooded and I had to put it in the bin, but still, it was good to have some drinks and enjoy some time with some family. And yeah, I actually went to a socially distanced rave to see The Man Eats Everything in Manchester, and that was sick. I went with my friend Roman from Creamfields, and yeah, I've just been having some fun, man. I've just been relaxing, just been forgetting about making videos, because sometimes it can get a little bit stressful. Only a little bit, but sometimes it can do. Sometimes it's nice to just let go of that for a few weeks and concentrate on some other things. But of course, I'm back now. I'm back in front of the camera. Here we are. We're making another video. And obviously, you guys already know the premise of today's video. And it's going to be about what it's like owning the Denon DJ Prime 4. So I have actually already made 2 videos on the Denon Prime 4. Of course, the first thing I made was my unboxing video. That was a ton of fun to make. You can literally see how happy I am just by looking at my face. Like, I don't think I've ever been that happy, like genuinely in my life, ever. Because just the absolute excitement of getting something that you've wanted for such a long time and finally having it in front of you. God, man, that was such a good day. So yeah, I'll leave that video in the description. And also the second video I made on the Denon Prime 4 is my first mix on the Prime 4. I'll leave that linked as well. That mix turned out so good. I'm so happy with it. I did spend a lot of time coming up with a set list for that mix. You guys actually voted for the tracks you wanted to see in that mix, because I put a poll out on my channel in the community section, bass house, tech house, techno mashup, and it turned out super good. So yeah, I'm buzzing about that mix. Even now I watch it back and I'm like, woo, got some fire. It was a good mix. But of course I want to make some more mixes now on the Denon. I've got plenty of ideas and stuff that I want to do on it. So yeah, the 2 videos I've already made on it, I think were pretty decent videos, and this is my 3rd video on the Denon Prime 4, is I can give you guys an idea of what it's like in the first month to own a Denon DJ Prime 4. You know, what the workflow is like, the first things you'll do, maybe the first problems you'll encounter, how to get over them, what it's like to use certain features on the Prime 4 when you've upgraded from a smaller piece of equipment. I can give you guys that sort of insight, and I feel like that sort of insight is genuinely valuable. Where maybe an in-depth review at this point, I wouldn't be able to tell you everything in depth that you would like to know, because I've not managed to test it all yet. So there's no point doing an in-depth review, but I can definitely give you guys a good idea of what it's like to own a Denon DJ Prime 4, you know, within the first few weeks. So that's enough talking. Let's get behind the Denon DJ Prime 4 and let's give you guys some insight of what it's like to own the best all-in-one DJ system in the world. Let's do it. So guys, the Denon DJ Prime 4. Now, this thing is so beautiful. I mean, the lights, the way it feels, the screen, everything about this screams quality and beauty. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to mix on this thing for the last month or so. Now we're going to be breaking down each individual section just in a quick little overview, give you guys an insight, maybe a bit of criticism I have with something, but of course praising the good stuff as well of each individual section on the Denon Prime 4. So as I said, I've had this thing for about a month now, so this isn't a proper in-depth review. I've not tested everything on this. For example, I've not tested this booth output section at all. I've not tested the microphone at all. I've not needed to, of course, because of the world situation. I've only been playing with this thing right here, so I've not had the chance to play on a massive speaker system. I've only been playing on this speaker here through my headphones. So obviously once I get a chance to play on a massive speaker system, we can go in a proper in-depth review and talk about it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the screen. Now the screen is massive. You'll notice that when you use it, you have absolutely no issues seeing everything that you need to see. The keyboard is fantastic on it, and the waveforms work brilliantly. You can either choose from vertical or horizontal waveforms, which is obviously nice because different DJs like to use different types of waveforms. And searching for tracks and creating playlists is honestly so easy on this thing. You just jump in to your playlist manager, you can drag and drop tracks, you can quickly create playlists in the mix, and it's super easy. Honestly, the easiest playlist and kind of track selection that I've ever dealt with before, and I've played on quite a range of different DJ equipment. The touchscreen is fantastic and works perfectly well. So next, let's talk about the mixer section. Now, of course, you guys know, it comes with your standard 3-band EQ, comes with your trim knob, and it comes with sweep effects. Yeah, the 3-band EQ works absolutely flawlessly, and the trim knob is really nice and tight as well. You know, some trim knobs, when you turn it up just slightly, you'll get a massive increase in volume, and I don't like that. I like to be able to just you know, kind of get that little tiny bit of increase, and you do with this trim knob. It works fantastically. The next thing is the sweep effects. I love the sweep effects on this DJ system. You've got 4 to choose from. You've got your filter, you've got your echo, you've got your wash, and you've got your noise. Obviously, the one you're probably going to use most is filter. Filter works fantastically. I've also got that on kill, so if you bring it right down to the bottom, you'll actually kill the whole noise of the track completely, and then you can slowly bring that back up, and I like that for bringing tracks in and taking tracks out, whether that be low pass or high pass. It works fantastically well. The echo sweep effect also is really nice. It's worth to notice as well, when you turn it right, you will start the echo off at a really small parameter, and then you change to a larger parameter the more right you go. Alternatively, if you'd like to start off at a lower parameter, you can turn the knob left, and that will give you a larger parameter for your echo effect. So it's worth bearing that in mind. Of course, they're little things that you just learn as you have the DJ system for more and more time. The wash effect, it's okay. It's kind of like the echo, but a little bit messier. Don't use it too much. Maybe just slap it on now and then just for a little play. And the noise effect, I love using the noise effect. It's a great way to do like a build-up without there actually being a build-up. James Hype, of course, is the king of using the noise effects with his cut-in as well, and you can definitely do that on here. Really super easy to do. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the jog wheels. Now, one of the first things that I saw as a criticism before I bought this was that the jog wheels were too loose. I have to disagree with that. I'm really sorry. The jog wheels on this are absolutely perfect. They're super heavy, like they just are. They feel so tight, and they've got such a nice feel to them. They're made out of glass on the top, and they've got like this metal design on the side. There's a screen, of course, in the middle of the jog wheel. I've actually got my DJ logo inside that screen, but you can actually have album artwork as well, if that's something you want to have in there. The screen's also useful for changing like the parameters of a loop. When you use the auto loop in the top left-hand corner, you can actually change the parameters using the knob, and it will represent what you're changing it to in the middle of the jog wheel. So that's super cool. And obviously you also have the needle in the middle of the jog wheel as well, so that's really cool to have. But yeah, overall, jog wheels, absolutely fantastic. Have no problem with them. Love them. Best jog wheels I've ever used. Now we're going to talk about the tempo adjust. Now this is the only place where I actually have some issues. So first thing, tempo adjust feels super smooth, and yeah, it does feel really high quality as well. It's made out of metal and it feels really sturdy in there. One of my problems with where the tempo adjust is, I like to scratch on the right hand side of the deck. Now of course I'm not scratching there now because I'm behind the deck, but if I was on this side, I'd be scratching like this. Often my fingers nudge the tempo adjust as I'm scratching, and all of a sudden the mix goes out of sync and it sounds terrible. That's obviously something that I've got to learn now. I've got to learn to scratch maybe at the bottom of the jog wheel, or maybe the opposite side completely, where I'm away from that tempo adjust. But it's worth bearing in mind, if you are a scratcher and you do like scratching on the right hand side of your jog wheel, the tempo adjust is there, and it does get knocked really easily because it's super close. I mean, look, it's less than a fingertip away from the jog wheel, so it's worth bearing in mind. That's a little bit of an issue I've had with it. It couldn't be, you know, it might not be an issue for you, just something that I've encountered. Another issue I've had with the tempo adjust, and this is something that is really annoying me, right? For some reason, you can't actually adjust the tempo by a 0.11 decimal. So in Rekordbox, for example, you can choose your BPM by 0.00. So you'll go 125.03. And that means that you can actually get super, super tight with your BPM and your beat matches. However, on the Denon DJ Prime 4, you can only go by 0.1 of a decimal place. So for example, on here, you can go 124.0. And on this side, you can go 124.0. So what about if this side is 124.09 and this side is 124.01? For me, not having that extra decimal place actually means that when you're in the mix, if you're mixing for, let's say, 60 seconds or longer, you'll notice that the beat slightly does come out, and it's super duper annoying. I wish they would put it on here. It's not nice to have to worry about whether it's still in beat and nudge it back in, and because once you set that beat match, once you click play, once you nudge the jog wheel, once the BPMs are in place, you should be able to forget about the BPM. You should be able to then concentrate on getting creative in the mix, choosing the transition, you know, working the EQ, doing all that stuff, not having to worry then about 60 seconds down the line, having to nudge the jog wheel and maybe changing the BPM slightly because it's slightly come out. It's just a little issue I've had. I'm guessing that is something that you would get better at over time. You know, understanding exactly whether you're on the high end of the decimal point or you're on the low end, and then you can adjust that accordingly to make sure that your beat match is perfect. But if Denon could introduce a 0.2 decimal point, I'd absolutely love that. If they are watching this video and you thought about it, maybe do it, because I think I would enjoy it, maybe other people enjoy it, maybe not, who knows. One thing on the Denon Prime 4 that I think is amazing is the amount of opportunity you have to do loops. I love doing loops. I think they're incredibly useful in the mix. So the first thing you have is you have dedicated loop sections in the top left of each player. You choose the parameter of your auto loop by scrolling with the silver knob, and then to apply it, you just click the button in, and then that will apply your loop. Now, of course, if you've got quantize on as well, it will apply that loop in beat, quantize to the beat, super easy. And of course, you can use the same knob to shorten the loop or lengthen the loop if you've got it wrong or you would like to create some sort of build up. Also below the silver knob, you have a manual in and out loop. So whether you're quickly needing a loop to save a mix or you're planning on just getting creative with a loop, you can manually in and out it, and you can also hold the out button and just make the jog wheel small, and you can do that classic thing where you're shortening a loop to make it super messy but also sound super great at the same time. You can also change the parameter of the loop down in the bottom right hand corner of each player with the parameter change knob. You can either change it up or down just by clicking the respective buttons. There's also loop functions on the performance pads. You have loop and auto loop buttons. Now, I personally have not used these loop performance pads. For me anyway, they're just a little bit pointless. If I need to create a loop, I'll just auto loop it. Or if I know a loop's coming up and I want to loop it, I'll just get the right loop parameter with the silver knob, click that in, and now I'm in a 16 bar loop. Happy days. For me, these loop sections here on the performance pads are a little bit useless. Maybe there'll be a time when I use them and they'll come in handy. For now though, because I'm quite a fast DJ and I mix quite fast, they're not really coming use to me yet. Who knows, maybe down the line they will do. And that brings me on to the performance pads themselves. For me, these performance pads are a little bit of a letdown. Now, I don't mean the actual pads themselves. The pads are really nice, they're really responsive. I mean the actual features above the performance pads. So of course, hot cue, standard. I love hot cues, you can't go wrong with them. And then roll, I also love roll. I've used roll quite a lot. It's good just to be able to create like a quick little loop that's in slip mode and let that come out. You're back in the mix. I like having the roll. It's good for creating little build-ups and good for creating like weird little moments in the mix. Auto loop and loop, as performance pads. As I just said, for me, are a bit pointless when you've got so many loop options elsewhere. And then slicer and slicer loop, I think slicer's super boring. I just don't see the point in using it. I mean, maybe if you're trying to like do a little bit of drum, I just don't, for me anyway, it's a little bit pointless. I would have personally rather seen some pad effects down here, and I also would have liked to see a sampler, if I'm being honest. If they would have been down here, this whole thing would have been absolutely amazing, just perfect, perfection above perfection. I mean, it still is perfection. Of course, performance pads wise, I think it's lacking a little bit, but obviously you can be creative elsewhere. It's just, for me, the performance pads just let it down a tiny, tiny bit. The effects section, right, let's talk about the effects. Now, there is tons and tons of effects to choose from on the Denon DJ Prime 4. You just scroll through with the knob and you kind of pick which effect you want. There's so many to choose from. And this is the thing with the effects as well. You can be so creative with these effects. You can change the FX parameter, you can change the FX frequency, you can change the FX wet and dry, and you can also change the FX beats. So you can just change everything, which means you can get super creative, you can get super in-depth with your effects. If you're a proper technician in the mix, if you like to get really technical with your mixing, with the twisting of your knobs, then this is perfect for you, because you can get super precise and you can make things sound super unique by using this effect section on here. Of course, you've got two different effects on each side, and you assign them by using the buttons that are above the mixer section. So of course you can just click the relevant effect that you would like to be applied to that. One problem I do have with the effects is that it's hard to actually get them sounding good. I don't know whether it's because it's Denon's effects and they haven't quite mastered how their effects sound, or whether it's just because there's so much capability and so much choice to have with the effects that you just have to tweak it and get super technical. But it is hard to get some effects sounding good, like reverb, for example. I love using reverb. It's hard to get sounding good on this piece of equipment. It's just something you've got to play around with. You can get it sounding good, you just got to tweak it and carry on playing with it for a good couple of minutes, and then you can finally get it sounding good. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, if I'm being honest, but again, it's part of the fun, it's part of what we love. Again, I'm sure at some point you'll get to a point where you'll know exactly what you need to do to get that effect sounding good. So it's just a learning curve. Again, I've only had this for a month. Maybe in a few months, a year's time, I'll jump on here and I'll know exactly how to use the effects. I'll be quick, super efficient with it, and I'll have that effect ready to use in 10 seconds. And finally, let's talk about the main feature of the Denon DJ Prime 4, and that is the 4 deck mixing. How is it? Does it work? Is it any good? I can tell you now, it's amazing. The 4 deck mixing on this is perfect. I've had absolutely no problems with it. So first of all, as you can see by the screen here, I'm using the 4 deck vertical view. Now the horizontal view only shows 2 waveforms, even when using 4 decks. So you want to use the vertical view because you can see all 4 waveforms at the exact same time. You can actually see, of course, 2 waveforms next to each other, and then you've got the track selection down the middle, 2 waveforms next to each other on the other side. This screen right here is absolute perfection. You can still search for your track right down the middle of the screen. You can still search for your track while you've got 4 tracks playing at once. Also, you might think it would be hard to juggle between 2 decks on 1 player. I think Denon have done a really good job in making the decks different colors, and it's very obvious when you're on one side. When you're playing on one side, it becomes very obvious what deck you're playing on. And I actually haven't had an issue yet where I change something thinking that I'm on the deck that's beneath it. So they've done a really good job so far. I've had no issues with it. The waveforms on the screen work perfectly. The EQs for when you're 4-channel mixing work perfectly. The players work perfectly. I honestly have no issues with it yet. 4 deck mixing on this thing is incredible. So much fun. And I will have a 4 deck mix coming out very soon on the Denon DJ Prime 4, so keep an eye out for that. Subscribe if you want to see it. It'll be coming out very soon. So there you go, guys. That is my first review of the Denon DJ Prime 4. What it's like to own a Denon DJ Prime 4. What is it like? Well, it's a ton of fun. It's incredible. When you can come home from a hard day's work, you can turn the light off and you can just play on this thing. it just feels amazing because the creative ability and the functionality, like how powerful this thing is inside the computer section, you know, the screens, how powerful it is, it's just amazing to play on. For me anyway, playing 4 channels is the best feeling in the world. When you're juggling 4 tracks at once and you need to quickly take that out and then bring it back in, and you need to go and quickly set a loop and you need to pull the bass out of that one and get, that for me is where the fun is, because, you know, once you get past 2-channel mixing and you master that, you need the 4 channels to really challenge yourself. And for me, it is a proper challenge. It's really fun, especially jumping between the 2 layers. It gets proper fun, trying to figure out what layer you're on, trying to figure out what effects you've got assigned to what channel and what you should do next, where the bass is coming in next, where the drop's coming in next. Super, super fun. And the screen helps you figure all that out because it's such a good screen. Yeah. If you're sitting on the fence, right, you don't know whether to get one, get one. I promise you. If you can afford it, only if you can afford it, get one, because it is the best and the most powerful piece of DJ equipment in the world. All in one DJ system, of course. For the price, you are not going to get a better, you're not going to get a better DJ system at all. You're not going to get anything as good as this for the price. That's just a fact. You're just not. So if you can, get one. My overall, if you just wanted me to give you a quick 1-line review, it's absolutely amazing. You should get one. There you go. Thank you for watching anyway. Yeah, let's jump into the outro. So there you have it, guys. That is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it helped you. I hope you had a bit of fun on today's video as well. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you are new around here, of course, do subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell as well, you know, click it, because why not? Also, drop the video a like if you did enjoy it, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one, which hopefully won't be 3 weeks away. Hopefully it's in a week or less away, but we'll see. Subscribe and you'll find out when it is. Hey, see you later, guys. Bye.